You wanted to see some cities besides Moscow and St. Petersburg, and I showed you Vladivostok, showed you a bunch of villages, but today we're going somewhere else, so we're flying. First of all, let's take a look at our sanctioned airport. I remember this place like 25 years ago. This used to be the entire terminal, and now it's just the boarding area. So yes, we have our sanctioned McDonald's over there. Same prices outside or slightly higher. I've never noticed it being higher. The Burger King seems to be a little bit higher, maybe 10% or maybe I'm just imagining it. The other shops in here, some of them are higher than their outside prices. I wouldn't say horribly so, but like the shawarma place, there's like 630 for a shawarma, and that should be like 350 or 450, so that place is definitely overpriced. And that was the other places. Yeah, the prices seem a little bit higher, maybe 50% more than outside there. We got chocolate. This is a local, well, it's not St. Petersburg, but really good chocolate company. Down at the end we have Team Putin, because you can't miss that at any airport. Need some socks? Got socks. A lot of local restaurants. Pilmeni, really good. Oh, there's a Burger King down here. We need Gazprom or Zenit material. We got it. And here you have your Team Putin merchandise. In case you're a fan and you want to fly and you forgot your merch. And this is the central part of the terminal. The gates go out each way, but rather comfortable airport. Definitely way better than it used to be when I used to fly here 25 years ago. It was rather bare then. It's improved a lot. Flying discount airline for the first time. Normally I only fly Aeroflot. But someone else booked a ticket, and unfortunately they picked the lowest one without any baggage, and the allowed baggage is like really small, like a handbag. So my bag cost me like $36 to check, which is like half the price of the ticket. My train tickets, business class to Moscow, don't cost that much, but oh well. Live and learn. So next time I'll make sure if they put me on a budget airline that they gotta include my bag, but still not bad. It's an hour and 40-minute flight. We're going to Nizhny Novgorod today. Panorama of St. Petersburg. Anyways, so first time flying this airline, but again, so far, you know, compared to America, I'd actually feel safer here with the sanctions. Our doors aren't blowing off. We didn't have one of our biggest airports shut down for, what was it, a few minutes. The entire air traffic control lost radar contact, everything. So America's got some serious infrastructure problems, especially in the airports. So don't worry too much. I mean, I know everybody's reporting, but all the incidents they've had are like, you know, not major things. And I'm not really worried at this point. Russians know how to fly planes. They have their own plane manufacturing history. They know how to maintain them. And air travel is still the safest, no matter where you are anyways. Although I do prefer the train. The train's too far to where I'm going now. 15 more minutes. This is our gate over here. This is the fastest bag delivery. I literally just walked down off the plane. I was in front of the plane in 2 minutes. Here's my bag. Nizhny Novgorod Airport. So this is what a smaller city airport looks like. I don't know the population of Nizhny Novgorod yet. I have to look it back up. It's one of the larger cities, but I don't exactly remember how big it is. And this is the arrivals hall. I don't know if that's the Gaz automobile plant or, yeah, it is. It says a factory over there. So this is where they make the gas. Okay, Ibis Hotel, European brand, pretty decent. The stock rate's around, let's say about $75 a night. Not too bad. Okay, it's not a scenic view, but it's fine. Hotel's fine. I've had hotels that looked out almost straight into other windows, so no complaints. Okay, bonus points. It's not just chocolate, dark chocolate. Extra special tippy tea. Should I be excited to try this? And Snickers with almonds I found. So, it's looking good. It's university biology wing, but this is the library, they said. I don't see many books, but I guess it's like a study hall. I mean, something blue.
Nizhny Novgorod and also Nizhny, and I should tell you that we're all very lucky because this is the center, this is the place where people from all over the world who share spiritual values are welcome, and people who can get here good education and good welcome also to our cultural, Russian cultural background.
Open your business in the life.
Yeah, and that's the city that becoming better and nicer and more beautiful. We have about 25,000 students studying with us, students of all types and levels, and in biotech. So you can find all the aspects, all the fields almost in the university. And what is the most important? Future employment, of course, yeah, because they have no students, because we understand.
There were some things said before about sanctions, about international students here. Well, me living here already 3 years, and also being part of the Russian language course, because I was in Latin America when all it started, at first the coronavirus, so I had to learn Russian online. Since I came, I really faced many opportunities. I faced chances to go forward. Even though when I came in my first year, the sanctions started, I never faced any problem. I kept moving forward. I learned, well, I made friends, and thanks to organizations like X, like I Care, I Can. I learned such skills of team leadership, of talking in public. I think I'm not battery. So I take as many chances as Russia, as Nizhny Novgorod, and as this university offered me. Even with sanctions or without it, it's not such a big problem for we international students. Yeah, there are some borders we cannot cross, but what's the point? When I came here for studying, when I came here for not just developing my professional career, but also taking some events. Me personally, I'm always participating in Nizhny, in Moscow, so I keep moving, and so far it's been such a nice experience. Thanks a lot.
So, University of Nizhny Novgorod, and University of Lichevsky, and they have 25,000 students, of which about 10% are foreign students from 100 countries. And so now we're going to see one of the biomedical units. That was the biology wing, but also the Center for National Diplomacy. They took their first foreign students in 2005. And one thing that's a lot of people in the West don't understand is that, yes, foreign students like to go to the US, but the US has become so horribly expensive. And also with the immigration issues, so many students are turned down in the US, especially in the current political climate, that it's becoming very hard for many foreign students studying the US. And Russia has really stepped up. So I met several students here from Iraq, and I have some friends back in St. Petersburg that are from Iraq that are studying to be doctors. This one is studying to be a doctor too. Somebody from India, there's somebody from Latin America, and it's become a really big thing now in universities in Russia. And there are scholarships available for many of them, but even for those that aren't, it's very affordable. I have no idea how much it is here, but I know I have many student friends in St. Petersburg, and their entire tuition, including room and board, everything is between $4,000 and $5,000 a year. So when you can come to a country, and even if you would pay out of pocket, you can become a doctor for say between $20,000 and $30,000. That's quite affordable. And in fact, many of my friends have stayed here. So I know another friend that's from Syria, and he studied here. He's become a doctor, and he stayed here, and he's a doctor here. He doesn't have to, he chooses to. And in fact, Russian students who graduate are given a right to residency. So if you want to stay after you study, you can. In fact, if you graduate what's called a red diploma, which is like top marks, it isn't not the only one, but it's a category, it's a whole group of people, then you have a right to fast track to citizenship when you graduate as well. But even if you don't, you have the right to residency, and then you can stay as a resident forever. Or if you want to become a citizen after a number of years, you can. So it's something that a lot of people in the West don't understand, but the universities here are extremely good. And in fact, many of them do teach in English. This one particularly, I'll show the slide. I showed the slide a little bit earlier, you can go back and pause. But they have whole programs in English too. There were like 20 different degrees that you can study completely in English. Or you can learn Russian. In fact, they will give you your first year of Russian, or you can study Russian online before you come, and then take your degree in Russian as well. And you can't see the size of the building, but this entire building is for studying Russian if you want to study Russian first.
Many students participating as
You can
volunteers.
study Russian and then take other degrees, or you can study completely in English. Okay, so a little unprepared trip, so you can see what it's like in the International Studies Center. We just randomly crashed a class, but these are some of the students here. Oh, if everybody could just tell me where you're from. Where? China. Yes, and where?
Ecuador.
Ecuador, okay. South Africa.
From Syria.
Syria. Sudan. Congo. And you two are sisters or just friends?
Just friends.
They're just friends, okay. They answered the same time, so I thought maybe.
You probably speak French, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's why.
Okay. And what made you decide to study in Russia?
You can speak Russian if you want.
New things in our life, so you need to make a new ways that you need to know another language, so you can make a new friends, make a relationships with the guys in your work, in the work, and you can it will help you in the future.
And did you consider to study other places, or?
No, until now, no, I don't have any.
So Russia was your first choice?
Yes, my first choice.
And how,
English.
Okay. How did you find out about you could study in Russia?
No, it's something of hard, but it's need to try.
But how did you learn that you could study? How did you know?
The first I was not it was my family choice.
Okay.
They tell me that you need to make another ways, you need to add another language for your life, so you can make another relationships,
And you were from Sudan, yes? You were from Sudan. Okay. And did you learn English in Sudan, or you learned English here as well?
I learned English in Saudi.
Okay.
I was born in Saudi Arabia, and
Okay.
I know some English because my father put me in international school.
Okay.
That's why I speak English.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Okay, I'll test my memory. Saudi Arabia, right? No. Syria. It started with an S, I'm sorry. I have been to Saudi Arabia many times, but I've not been to Syria, but I have many friends from Syria. So, someday, I hope. So, how long have you been studying here in Russia?
6 months.
6 months. And how is the Russian language coming?
Oh, it's kind of hard.
Yes.
Pronunciation and words. It's kind of hard.
What I tell people is just speak with no fear. Don't care, just do your best, and hopefully people understand. And if they laugh at you, then they laugh, because people laugh at my pronunciation all the time. But I don't care. I just throw the words together. And I focus on being understood, not being correct.
So, yes, because our level is not high. We have to speak kinds of short answers.
Yes.
Yes. So.
And after 6 months, how are you able to communicate in Russian? You can go to the town and order food, and
I can communicate with Russian people. So, but they know. it's some confusion.
I know it's difficult. You're studying not just one language, but English,
Yes,
Russian,
yes,
Arabic.
English and Russian
Yes.
together. I am trying to study Russian, so I can study. I will study medicine, general medicine in Russian language. So I have to develop my level at Russian. But after 6 months, I see my level is good, as we can say. But I have to develop my level.
Would you say, how is your Russian compared to your English right now? Would you say your English is better than your Russian, or your Russian is better than your English?
Yes, my English better.
Okay, so you're still coming
Especially
along.
like hearing, hearing. My listening in Russian is my listening in English is so, but my conversation not.
Well, Russians sometimes speak very quickly.
Yes.
So what I do is I go to the bars and I buy them a beer, and then they speak slower.
Yes, it's another problem.
Yes.
Russian people, especially who doesn't know that that you are not a Russian, and you are not a good speaker, Russian speaker. So they speak very fast.
Yes. Sometimes my Russian is conversational, but I'm still learning too. So sometimes I will go somewhere and I will just ask people, and I will ask them in Russian, do you want bad Russian or good English? Make your choice. And then you give them a choice. It's like, make your choice, and they look at me like, but it makes them laugh too. So, Okay, thank you. So the basic idea, and I know this because in St. Petersburg we have a very active foreigner community, expat community. So if you want to study one of the Russian degree programs, you spend your first year basically only learning Russian. And so that gentleman had been learning for about 6 months, and he said he can communicate and so forth. But generally after about 1 year of studying exclusively Russian, and you study a few other things too, and studying the Russian language, then you're able to enter a Russian language program. Or, as I said, there's English language programs too, but if you want to study in a wider variety of options or just learn Russian language completely, you will. Even if you study in an English language program, you're still going to have some Russian classes as well, because you're going to need to be able to get around and function in society here and so forth.
Pay attention.
They're building a huge IT campus, and that's why there's so much construction going on right now, because this is one of the major IT cities of Russia, and they have one of the supercomputers here already.
Home for innovative projects, research projects, applied projects, as well as that's the basis for studying for many of our international students, in particular studying medicine. And with the short time left, we will see some laboratories and classes where they do, and modern equipment where they are practicing. Okay.
One of the things they had mentioned earlier too is that this is a big research university. So one of the buildings that was behind us was exclusively devoted to just chemistry research, and there's another one, mechanical engineering research. So this is of course a teaching university, but it's also very big on research, and they have a partnership with many of the large Russian companies and Chinese companies as well. And they also have a partnership with a Chinese university in which they exchange information and students as well.
And we all go to the 5th floor to attend simulations.
I hear the thing of nightmares, the dental drill. But yeah, this is a school of dentistry, so they're practicing on, I guess, dental robots or dental mannequins.
Look, this is how they study, but these are not real people, right? They just heads. That's okay.
Dental mannequins. Dental dummies.
Well, but then they will take you. If you don't prepare well, they will take you. Yes.
It means that you use the stethoscopes. This is specific. Students how to auscultate the heart in the certain region. So, yeah, in the second intercostal space, in the third one, and the fifth one, for each valve. Yeah. So, our students use the specific set of phonendoscope with the microphone, and we may change the case and switch on different noises. Different noises, like for example, aortic stenosis or the stenosis of the mitral valve. We know that the noise changing in each situation, in each case, and that's why, yeah, we ask our student, what is this deformation of the valve? What do you hear in this case? And they need to reply. So.
Do you ever put in joke sound effects in there?
Yes, yeah,
Like
absolutely,
joking.
all the time.
Like birds.
Yes, it's the second and the third year of the student life. Yeah, yeah, because we use the propedeutic subject for examination of the patient. It's the kind of introduction to the medical science, and that's why we use this all methods of examination to kind of teach, to educate our students. Yes, and joke all the time. Yeah, you may ask them.
Like a bird sound or something.
Yeah, no, not
Еще я
that one.
помню, у нас был какой-то...
Yeah.
Oh no! Play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Could you describe what are you doing there?
First of all, we have not a real patient, but we are trying to show you how to make a general examination on a patient. For example, auscultation of the heart, auscultation of the lungs. For example, here you can see the blue lights, which indicates hypoxia or low oxygen in the body. Or another term, medical term, cyanosis. We trying to show you how to make a general examination for the patients. At the end, we give the results. And
Yes.
And which year?
This one is lucky because
He's-
he can't complain.
yeah, well, we are in the 5th course, me and my two colleagues. She's she's Portuguese and studying in Bosnia. She's in internship.
Ordinator.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
In
I'm
the
doing
fourth course.
mobility exchange.
Yeah,
It's a
we
pleasure.
are actually glad to meet everybody here today. So, showing different experiences, different
Yeah.
cultures, and yeah.
And
Yes.
where are you from?
I'm from Algeria actually.
Algeria.
Yeah, my friend from Lebanon is from Egypt, so different flags here.
And you're studying all in English or in Russian?
In English actually.
Okay.
Yeah, in English. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So also we train there, it's like a station for accreditation, we train some skills for emergency care. So our students need to examine the patient, to find some checkpoints for the different diagnoses, choose the diagnosis and choose the right treatment for them. Also we have the monitoring of this patient, and in different cases we have the different picture of ECG, of the pulse oximetry and different other markers that we use for assessing our patient condition. It means that something painful for our patient, and we need to do something.
So our goal is to find out what's the diagnosis without questioning the patient, because he's not responding. Yeah.
Yes, cannot reply
that's
at
our
any
goal.
question.
Yes, because in this case we imagine that the patient is unconscious and we need to make the test with electrocardiogram, we need to check the monitor on that. So if you can.
Oh, he looks very unhappy.
Yeah, the face of this simulator was made by Mosfilm in Moscow. Yeah, you may assess it. Is it real or not?
Yeah, so it is
can
very
see-
developed. It's
If you can look at here at the monitor, we have basically 3 parameters. This is the heart rate. Of course, in this case, it's a little bit elevated. 90 is borderline elevated heart rate. This is the oxygen level in the arteries. It's low. Saturation.
Low, yeah?
Yeah, it's low here. The normal should be more than
That's
94,
why the hands
95.
are-
yeah,
So here,
that's
this
why
case
it's
is,
It's got my
hypoxic.
name on there. Look at that. See the yellow one? Chad, it's got my name.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
And here is the number
Yeah, and they
for
kind
CO2,
of
for carbon
pretending-
dioxide.
Yeah,
Okay.
like us. I mean,
So in this case, we can immediately
they're like
start
teachers.
thinking that the patient is hypoxic with a high heart
So we
rate.
see the blue
the
light.
blue lights
Yeah.
indicates
we
it's cyanosis.
explain them.
The blue
in
lights
this
indicates
way, and that's
they
why
match
they
actually
remember
the
this.
low oxygen
Yeah.
pressure or saturation.
And is this a Russian-made robot or just a Russian-made face?
Ask the doctor. So I'm representative here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go for the next. Come in, please. Yes. You may leave your bags on the chairs. Thank you.
10, 11.
Prepared everything for our student. This is our therapist, cardiologist. This is PhD, and this is assistant of the director, Ksenia Sergeyevna Kolosova. And we are so thankful for this organization. And don't you mind to make the photos together again? Yeah.
So my name is Aurélie and I'm from Madeira Island, which is a Portuguese island, and I'm also French. And I study in Bosnia, but right now I'm doing this lovely internship here. So it's a 3-week mobility program. I'm at the end of my 3rd week, and today I have the opportunity to be in this simulation room, and it's been great. I've been learning so much with this internship, and I'm just very glad and grateful to be here. Thank you very much.
French?
Yes, I speak French, really.
Okay, if there's one thing you could tell foreigners, especially Westerners, about Russia, what would you want them to know?
It's great to come to study and to live here.
Okay, and how about the bears? Do they need to be afraid of the bears?
No, sure,
Okay.
no.
They're all very
Nothing
friendly.
to be afraid of.
Okay,
And people from all around the world are coming to study with us at Lobachevsky University.
okay. Well, we will make this university know the best we can.
Thank you.
Okay, we found a mystery. On the bottom of these armrests are these things. Does anyone know what these are? Are these some Soviet thing that I don't know what they are? Or is it? I don't know. I have been corrected by a Russian Indian, or Indian Russian, I don't know which it is. Indo-Russian. He says this bus is German, so you German people, what kind of kinky stuff is going on here? Because we know it's German, so it must be kinky.
Hi, my name is Dmitry Kolesnikov. I am an active director of Nizhny University, the company that is in charge of all the content that's going to be happening in the IT campus. Today we are visiting the first construction site. These dormitories or hostels for about 1,300 students. They will be ready in a month, and I'll tell you more about the entire construction project of our tour.
1,300 total, or each building you just smash them into one building?
Technically, this is one building because they have all the same basement.
I'm just teasing you, of course.
Это будет похоже как Иннополис?
В чем-то да. Shall we?
Yes.
See? Sort of major large-scale construction didn't happen in Russia. It hasn't happened since the 60s. So around 60s there were lots of universities built, 60s, 70s, etc. Then there were some things like Innopolis, like Skolkovo, some universities created new buildings for them, but the mass construction didn't happen. So this is the project. Now there are 25 campuses being built across the country, and by 2035, I think, there should be 40 of those. So we are one of the first 4 that started this construction. And we looked at other campuses, at other universities like Innopolis and Skolkovo. So we took the best practices that they had, but added one little sort of twist. We are building in the center of the city because what we think will benefit our students, our companies, is the presence of a big sort of collection of very smart students right in the center, right next to companies, right next to apartments, etc., etc. So,
natural light corridor right in the middle to make sure natural light comes in. And eventually they'll put a lilac bush in here. Okay, someone called the English teacher. There's an L missing here. We agreed it's okay because it's an IT building, not an English building. Okay, let's see what this student accommodation looks like. So they have one room. I guess one person, I guess they have separate rooms. So well, a nice view. It's tiny balcony, closet space, and then we have another one. I guess they share. So there's no electricity here yet, but nice sized bathroom. And then this room has 2, so I guess 2 people sleep here, 1 person sleeps in the other room, or something like that. But either way, this one has more windows. Pretty nice view. Not a bad student accommodation. And actually we discovered a second toilet. So if one person has had too much Indian food, we have a second one. Oh, and this is cool. So they have all the rooms and they have a common kitchen area per floor. So I think there's like 4 sets of rooms on each floor. 4 or 5. And then instead of having to go elsewhere, they have this common study, party, eating area. I like this. This is cool. What they've done is they've taken the old buildings that are already here and they've restored them and they're turning them into, there's one here, into administration and other common buildings. There's another one we'll see back when we go over this way. A little less impressive from the back side, but this was one of the other buildings that they preserved and restored. And it said it used to belong to a merchant 100 or 200 years ago or something, and now it's going to be some sort of common building. I don't know whether it's for facility or administration or something, but it's part of this big campus here. And we have stumbled into the security station, so good security for students, except for the sketchy looking character here. I think it might be a problem. And I know I'm going to get some trolling comments. No, it's not to control the students. No, it's not the private areas. It's the parking garages and the entrances and things like that. It's to keep the students safe. It's not to spy on them. So I noticed that this one's on a curve and everything else is straight, and we were just joking around about it. But the reason for it is because this building here is made out of wood and it's a fire code. So it gives extra distance here for fire code reasons, but also access for, well, the firemen would come here, but basically it has to do with the distance from this wooden building. It gives it that extra space. Pretty cool idea. So this university is actually not part of the previous university we're in. It's like a combinator of 4 universities. It's where all the IT stuff is, because there's IT overlap with biology and all kinds of different sciences, and they realize that some people go into IT and they don't want to stay in IT. So this way they can come in IT and then they can bounce off into biomedical IT or biotech, and but it's a central spot that all 4 universities can centralize all of their IT studies, whether it's pure IT, pure computer science, or hybrid stuff, all in one spot. Here you can see IT campus, the squares, and the whole thing. And we're up on this area is a big hill in Nizhny Novgorod, and this area is lower. When you come across here, it's like coming up a big hill. You can see IT campus there. This is the former territory of what was here before. And then we got something else he's going to show us here. You can see the floor plans of these ones. These ones are different than the previous ones a little bit. Actually, I think it's the same layouts. Same layouts, I think. No, it's a little bit different. These ones are a little bit. These ones are 4 to so 2 in a room, 2 in a room, 2 toilets, 2 showers in this one. The other one had 3 and 1.5 baths. And this one, oh yeah, it has kitchen too. The kitchen's here. I don't know if I showed this one before, but there's some more views right along the river here. Nice view. Okay, and these rooms for a bed is about $100 a month. For the double room, for the private room, it's around $200 a month. And these would be for visiting people as well, or long-term students. And look at the view.
Вот в этом месте, видите, где земля спланирована, здесь будет главный учебный корпус. Вот через эту дорогу будет пешеходный мост.
That's a pretty cool view. It's a lot better view than my dorm room had. Parking too. Underneath they have parking garage.
Можем подойти через подвал.
And it's not only under the building, but under the square too. It's actually a really big parking garage. There's a better view of the wooden house. This is going to be a sporting play field for multi-purpose sports. Actually, we went into the parking garage like 5 buildings down and then came out this side, so it's a big parking garage. I don't think it's meant so much for the students, but there's also housing in here for like some professors or visiting professors, things like that, so it's more intended for them. Look at this. Cool river, cool bridge, there's a church over there, so we're up on a hill on this side of the city. There's two rivers are coming together here. You can see them, they come together because they're flowing out, they don't split. But anyways, so that's the lower part of the city, I don't know what it's called, and we are here on the higher part of the city. Really cool. TV crew here. Some kind of cool balloon, I don't know who's in there. Take this in. Look at there's a hydrofoil down there. Speeding along the river. One of these is the Volga. I don't remember the name of the other one. Big crane out in the middle there. Come together. This is really quite cool. The bridge is getting a little stuffed up. There's a bridge over there. I don't know what's going on here. But pretty cool. Somehow we picked up a camera crew as well. TV likes us. Now we are inside the Kremlin of Nizhny Novgorod. Yes, there are multiple Kremlins in Russia. Kremlin basically means fortress or castle. There's multiple Kremlins, but only one Putin. And this ancient tower has an elevator. It's actually a replica. They had to rebuild it. And it's pretty exact except for the elevator. Okay, the elevator goes almost to the top.
So and now you can see the views while in all the directions. To the rivers, when rushing channel, when bells ring, it's a good symbol, yeah? It's
All these strings and This was originally built in wood, but the Mongols tore it down 7 times. So after 7 times, they decided we should use brick. And there's a funicular in here somewhere. There used to be 2 of them, and we're gonna find one of them maybe if it's still open. We went up in that big tower over there. It's a major industrial place in production during World War II. Like 1/4 of all the tanks, half the submarines, and 1/3 of something else was all produced here. And that's why the Nazis tried to bomb the heck out of the city. There's a better view of the tower that we were up in. It's pretty cool. It felt taller from the inside, but I guess it's because of the lift, but it's still very cool. The bell lady was cool. And lilacs. I love lilacs. That's somewhere I grew up. These are the courts over here, still active today. And then over here, this is the regional government. But these buildings were built in the 1800s under the imperial times. This one's built 1631. Here's one of the more modern buildings from the courts. And because of the hills, they call it the Sunset City. And missing the Caribbean, I miss the sunsets, as you know, if you saw my channel before. So I hope we'll get a chance to see some sunsets before I go home, but I miss the sunsets. St. Petersburg has some wonderful sunsets too, but St. Petersburg is very flat. It's built on a swamp. So there's some good viewpoints from the Gulf, but nothing like up here. You can see the river. It's the Volga and the Oka. That's the other one I couldn't remember. And I hope I'm shooting right because the sun is directly in my eyes right now. You can see the walls down here. And apparently these were built, I forget when she said, 1600s or something, but they had some Italian architects come in because building on the hills here was rather challenging. And here we have the Eternal Flame, commemorating for World War II as well. And this again was a major city for production during World War II and victory over the Nazis. Now let's get a better view while we're not bouncing around on the golf cart. It's really magnificent. I mean, the views before earlier were nice, but it's even better. Here's a better view of the regional parliament building, the one we saw from the side earlier. First half of the day, you know, I arrived and saw the hotel. And you can never get a good view of the city just riding to your hotel. You never know what you're going to see. And I just saw the Soviet city. And then we saw university, which was pretty cool. But now really getting to see for me, I mean, the university was very interesting, but the historical part here inside the Kremlin and being able to see the view from here, now I start to see, you know, why I would want to come back to Nizhny especially. Plus the IT university, I have some family that might study here in Russia, and the IT university is very attractive in that aspect. Landslides under the Kremlin walls, so they're fixing up the stabilizing dirt. Okay, here's some non-bus views. Lower wall of the Kremlin. Cool lights, y'all know I like lights. And I don't know which one of the rivers it is, but it's cool. I don't know if it's Oka or Volga or what it is. And heading out to dinner. Herb garden in the restaurant, hydroponics, pretty cool. The lights are wine glasses.